my fellow terrain makers. Here we are again, another video, another tutorial, and what we're going to do is we're going to make some fake grass. And if I can find where he went, I'll show you somewhat of what we're going to be going for. We can go with this type of grass here, or we're going to go with a dead type of grass sticking up. So that's going to be our mission of the day. So let me get my phone back down since I'm not using something higher. We're going to need glue sticks, hot glue gun, grass. I got live or summer spring type, and then I've got a fall wintry look. The fall wintry look is what I'm going to want more, just because I want to get a farm look going for my Christmas village to add in next year. I'm going to make a big old farm scene. That's just an area that's got a lot of barn animals, so I'm going to have a field where I'm going to have this grass all throughout it. So I'm going to grab a whole bunch because I'm going to make little clumps and rows. My glue gun should be warmed up, and I'm going to start making a circle with my glue and try to build it up a bit. And now I'm going to take my grass right here, try to strain it out as much as I can on each end. I don't want them even, and we got to go quick here now. So I'm going to cut in between my fingers. One stick going here, this one coming down, and I'm going to just hold them up a bit. And now let them try to spread and keep too much from going down. This is at times a little time consuming. If I can get a little more in here, let's see if I can get a little bit more in. After I do this one here for the dead, I'm going to do a longer row. This is just going to be a small little bush tuft growing up. And don't worry if it starts falling down, just keep on putting it back up. It's going to eventually get solid enough that it's going to all hold down. I'm giving it a little bit of a blow here just to try to get that glue going a little bit faster on drying up here. And now it's starting to bond. Might have went too heavy on one side. Still trying to pull down a bit more, so I'm going to just fluffing that up a bit more to the top. Yeah, it's still too. Now I'm going to find my water a bit. Oh, we still don't have enough strength on the bottom. Could have made it a bit taller of a gloop, but here, let's try to see if I can go around a bit. Don't worry. So, since I just did that, I'm not going to worry as much about my gloop. I still want to try to get this. I'm just going to take my more dead, yellowish looking earth and sprinkle it over a little bit right here. There we go. Now it's starting to stay and stick and not move. I'm going to move this out of the way a bit. enough. There now, when I push on it, it's not falling back down as much on the one side. And we'll be back in a few moments. Alright, so I'm back here. My glue is pretty much settled in. As you can see, as I push, you'll see the parchment paper coming up. As I come this way, it pushes on my parchment, nothing's moving around. Now, what I end up doing here when I added a little more glue was, as you saw with the bottles, I just sprinkled it. If I can find the angle here, hold on. As you can see, I sprinkled some of my fine turf on there. So what I'm going to do now is I need to put more because you can see through and I don't want to see through. Oh, my gun's already starting to stick up already with clog up. Oh. How lovely. So we'll just take a little dabber then. Try to get our, I usually like a spray because I don't use as much of this glue because I'm going to end up losing stuff now. And give me a second to get some paper towel to soak that up. Okay, so I got that mess cleaned up from the dropper, unclogged my thing a bit, and where did I put my good ballast? Alright, so I just want to now take this, open it up, use my spoon that I was using earlier for another tutorial. I'm just going to go over it. So what's going to happen here is now your glue is going to get covered up by your ballast, and you might have to do a second coating, you might not. I usually have to do 2 coatings here, so I'm going to let that one start to dry. Once that dries up and I know I got a decent coating, I'm going to take some of this coarse yellow grass here and texturize it in. And I see I got some paper towel on part of this. Ooh. And see, I told you it gets pretty good locked down here once it glues down. Okay, so, and I use parchment paper here because either I can get it to peel off on good parchment paper, or I don't care if I have to just cut around or rip around on this one here. So I want to get my next, this one here, I'm going to make it a bit longer instead of just a little tuft of grass. And this is why you're going to need some glue sticks. So I'm going to get my next set ready. This is going to be more of a row I'm going for, and which is going to take a little more time to do than this one did. And I'm not sure if I'll have time to do a live grass one because that's a little harder to get it to stick up and to take. Okay, so I'm going to build my base. Alright, need to let my glue heat up. Alright, grab some fake grass. I'm going to do a split finger cut because it's easier to maintain and keep it. Just watch out you don't cut yourself. I'm going to take my 2 even sides, match them up. And then I'm going to try to fan it out and let it push down. Oh, losing some already. And don't worry if you're going to have gaps starting. I've done this before and I was like, oh no, I got gaps, this is going to look horrible. Where you got gaps, you just go back over with your hot glue, put some more glue down and reapply, and you get a pretty nice looking field. So I just need to tease this. You guys don't need to watch me do this. This takes about 3 to 4 minutes worth of playing around with it. As I'm doing that, sometimes I try to grab out some of these strands I can get right now, without ruining this. There we go. And the rest that you can't get out, you just end up cutting off or around. Okay, so I'm just going to pause this till we're good to go. Alright, so that first part is finally staying where it's supposed to be, so I'm just going to come around where my last space was, where I left off, come up a little bit over the gap area, build up. Oh no, I'm still good for glue. I'm going to take another group of this. Alright, that should be good. Pull out a bunch of the strands. Double split my fingers. Gotta watch the clock, make sure I'm not want to miss my pickup for my people. Alright, I'm going to try to just even these both out. You do have to work quick on here because you want to get this all set down before that glue gets unworkable and you can't push this in anymore. So there we go. Again, you're going to be doing the same thing as you were going through on the other side. You're going to have to play and tease and hold till the glue gets strong enough or sets in enough, starts drying enough to. And this is where I just start fluffing some of this over onto the empty sides I was talking about. Okay. Some of this is just going to be garbage. Try to pull out some bigger strands that I can on the side that are not actually glued down. Blow out of the way a bit. Okay, and I see a bunch of the areas I'll have to end up. And don't worry if there is some little blotchiness. Like I said, even without the filling in part, you do have to remember that this is supposed to be a dead field. So, dying grass in the field, farmer's field. Okay, so there you go. And even if you want to here and there, I did this one where I experimented mixing different combinations of the green grass with the dead grass, trying to get different, okay, spring coming up with more of the green with a little bit of the dead, and more of a fall look with more of the dead with a little bit of the green, just getting, you know, slowly into there. Okay, so I'm starting to be able to not have to manage this too much anymore, so that's always a good sign. Yeah. So we'll go on to the next part, get another glue stick ready. Going to need one, and I usually go about 3 or 4 layers up easy when I'm doing these because I want my grass to be able to get firm. So if you're doing glue gun projects, which I started doing because glue gun sticks are dirt cheap at the dollar store for packs of these, and I kind of liked it, and it gave me some projects to work around with and try some new stuff with. Okay, so that's my next go. Alright, lose some of the dead weight. That stuff will be reusable later. Okay, and then I'm going to get this gun out of my way really quick and fan this out and start trying to get it dropping down and push down into the glue and let it start setting. So I'm going to move it here and there, trying to fill in some of the other gaps again from the other side when we did the first get-go. I actually got some pieces over here that I should be able to go in over here, no problem. Much. Now that I've got a base for this to hold on to, I can start getting it to Okay, so I'm not going to be able to use some of these short odds and ends. So I'm just going to even them out. And where I see I'm still able to plug pieces in here, I'm going to push down and try to get those in here as well. Okay, I do have to worry about these sides over here. Alright, I'm going to just try moving some of this out of the way so I can lay down another layer. And again, I will show you what this looks like on a board once it's done and completed, so you can actually see and know that it's worthwhile doing this. Okay, so I'm just going to take some of my, I forgot while I had the camera off, I did this over on the other side a bit, and let some of that glue that's not quite set but set enough, grab some of that, and then after we do our next row, I'm going to come back and touch up on this one right here. So where were we? Yes, all right. Getting late. I've been up for 16 hours and still got about 5 hours ahead of me. All right, so I'm going in. I want to make sure I'm going over the base I was just working on, so when you peel this off, you're not getting 2 or 3 different layers. It doesn't break up on you. Okay, so this is my next batch. Oh, that's nowhere near enough. Let's quickly, oh, lost the lid, grab a bunch more out. Gotta move quick here. Oh, this stuff is such a pain in the butt to get out of the packaging. Alright, so I need about that right. Oh, right here works perfectly fine. Try to get any short strands that aren't even, that are going to cause some issues. Cut, flip, flip, tap, tap, tap. Try to get it as close. All right, perfect. I'm just getting it in time, I think. Yeah, just getting it in time to be able to push down and get it to take in without having to try to fix it. Should have been watching how much of this I had left on the go. Okay, so I still got a bunch of glue left over here on the side that can still get used up. So let's quickly work over here, spread it out with your fingers, push down, try to get any of the loose stuff that fell off that can't be used out of here now. As this is going, I'm going to get some of my block over again. Try to let some of that dry and glue. Take this as a first layer. By means, don't think this is the only layer going under. And I'm probably only going to do 1 or 2 more rows of these, and then we're going to not be, okay, sorry, I'm just, while I'm letting that dry up a bit, I'm getting the next group ready to go. And let's see what I can, this stuff moves around very easy, so if it doesn't blow away, good chances are it's stuck in there or got glued down, and it'll be something you're going to be snipping after you're done. All right, let's possibly, where's my glue sticks? I might need 1 more glue stick after this. I only have 1 here, but I have 2. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there's my package right over there. Okay, so remember, go back up and on to the next base. You want this all being 1 part, not several different parts like the small one is. If you look at some of my wargaming boards, you can see where I used this small technique for just small little field areas. It was nothing majorly big for a farm, but that's where I had the original idea of wanting to use that to create a huge, larger, not huge, a larger, more several of these and kind of put it look like a real farmer's field. And if I was going smaller scale with the small old 80s, 70s, 80s Christmas villages, I would definitely not be making it this high up, the grass. If you're wondering why the grass seems so high for Christmas village, is the scale of my villages are larger than that. So this would actually, when it goes right near the farmer's field, the barn, to scale, it'll actually look like it's the proper size. Get some of that smaller stuff out. And actually, I think this will be my last one. Oh, I just caught a piece of my finger with the scissors. So lovely. Okay, so push your stuff down. After I do this side right here, I will flip the camera around so you can see what's what here in a little closer view than what you're getting. Well, I wish I can get this a bit better for you guys. Eventually I'll have the money to be able to get a proper camera system. Okay, and I want to get a little bit of this again before that's totally dried up. Okay. Now that I've done that, the next thing I want is I want my spray, and I'm going to spray generously in here because I want a bunch of this to, want all this covered up. I'm going to come back with my same stuff now that I've got this. Oh, here, hold on. My glue is not running on one of the corners I wanted. There we go. Now it's running everywhere. That's why you give it a good spray so it can slide down. And now I just come back over the top. I don't care if it gets on the side into this running water because that's just going to soak up. Come in on the side here. Trying to make sure I've got all corners. And don't be afraid to now go over it because your glue's pretty much stuck on here. I can still see some areas that didn't quite get covered up good enough on this corner. I'll try to come in more with in here, more here, pretty much more everywhere on the base. Okay, and I just like to flick along here. I don't care. I actually want this gain on the side. It gives it more texture, but I want this to texturize coming all the way down. Okay, so I've got that done. Perfect. Now I'm coming back to a small one in a few moments here. I just want to get this locked in. There's a whole another reason for getting more water on this, not just what's going to seep in. Okay, now this small one we were working on earlier, right here. Let's flip our camera around and look at these. Yeah, it still has glue showing, as you can see here. This is our larger field, and adding in the different colors gives it more than just that flat tone. And we'll be coming back to that. So over here, let's quickly get this wet. is I didn't go back over this too much with our solution, and then what's it called, you know, block. Okay, here, hold on, this will be the last one. It's getting late and I'm tired. Okay, so now that we got the camera, let's take my same color that I used on the other tree. I'm going to shake it on over. I'll let that absorb in. Do the same thing we did with the other one. Okay, and this is where we're going to go a bit different right here. I'm going to go back to my yellowish grass. I'm going to try to fluff it up with my spoon, because clump foliage is not a fun thing trying to work with, especially when it's clumpy. And I'm just going to move this around a little bit by the top, and I'm going to sprinkle a bunch of the clump foliage down along the bases. That should cover up any glue. Oh, I got a little more than, so I'm trying to get some in between the bushes. I got a bigger clump than I wanted, so let's just tease that down. Again, this just texturizes your grass so it doesn't look completely artificial, you know, one tone. Someone looks at it and it's like, oh my goodness, it's just sticking up there. Alright, I'm going to do the same. I gotta move the scissors out of my way here. One of these days I'll probably end up doing a green grass tutorial. It's the same concept. Did that stick down? Oh, there we go. Never had that happen either. Okay, so let's just lift up on this corner here and try to get some of the clump foliage into the sides. And I don't mind losing some off the sides here, you know, I don't want too much over saturated, but okay, and then I'm just going to take my fluffier stuff. Okay, and there you go. For now, before I can do anything else here, it's let the rest of this dry. Sometimes what I do, and this is going to be a good chance to do this, is if I've got too much little strands, I'm actually usually pretty decent not wasting this stuff. It's like 12 bucks Canadian for a packet of this. So I think the green is $15 for this one right here. So they're not cheap, so I usually don't like wasting a lot of this. So a lot of times I just gather up the crumbs that I've got, those little broken up cut off shards that don't make it. I move the big ones out of the way, and I will just crinkle what I can down around the base areas and try to make it look like it's broken stalks if I can. And then after it's dry, whatever dries on here stays. After this is all dry, I will hang it upside down for a second and give it a bit of a shake, see if any areas need to be touched up around the bases, and if they do, then I do my touch up, and if not, I take them off and get them ready to go and put them into a diorama. Okay, so we're going to clean up some of the stuff here. We'll be back in a few minutes to give you a better view of this. Okay, here, as you see, and as in our last video, I'm using really cheap parchment paper. So the water that seeped around it totally helped just loosen this right off. I just barely had to pick it up and it came off. As you can see, there's a few areas I will have to touch up after when it dries. I'll be able to peel some of this off right there or cut it. I could probably just peel that off right now if I wanted to. And I can see, as I was saying, you'll see in a few areas you will need to touch up here and there, so don't worry if you see that. I've taken mine and I've turned mine upside down and I gave it a good pruning. Not only did I shake it, I was pulling out little strands here and there. So once I know I've got everything on here dry and corners like this taken care of, we'll come back around and we're going to take care of like these odds and these strays all around on the bottom. We'll snip them up nicely. Same with this one right here. So we'll, like this one that didn't come off, some of these stray ones on the bottom. So, and then we'll touch up any areas on here too, like that. So sometimes working with glue, hot glue is not always the easiest to have stuff adhere to it, unless you want to go over it afterwards before you lay down the layer. You can always go down with that earth tone or a darker yellowish paint, I guess, and go and then sprinkle it over. I never thought of that. Look at that, something we just came up with on here. But as you can see, it's pretty texturized. You got more than one color. It's not just straight sticks. You've got stuff sticking onto it. You've got different heights and angles, and once it's all trimmed around, it's going to look really good. Alright, so due to time constriction and we need to get ready soon, I just went ahead and trimmed around where I thought I needed some trimming and got that all done. Touched up around the sides. Now that I got it off for the most part, it just needs to dry and it's not on a flat surface. I did the same with this one, and as you can see, you have a nice dead bush or a nice little collection that could be used for a farmer's field, depending on how you want to do it, or a hedge of bushes that are dying, or a field of tall dying grass. Whatever your heart's desire, you can come out on the side with the glue and, you know, flock down on there and put some bushes or rock or ballast and make a path across the side. You know, the limits are, you know, the unlimited options to do. So there you go. That's how you make dead grass for your board in a field. Alright guys, so we're back finally with the dead grass and field area completed, dried, ready to go. So I'm just going to pick this up. I have, oh, lost my cow. This is our finished product right here. As you can see, it's very textured, very able to pick it up. There's no more strands that come out, and it's 100% completely done. I've got no glue showing anymore on any of the base. It's got tons of texture to it and color and depth. And if you come over to a small one, it's the same, so you can place them near together to kind of make it look like it's sporadic field. Next year I'll be adding this and doing up a few more of these and placing them to the side or in behind a barn with a lot more space. And we knocked the cow over. Our dairy cows are fine, our beef cow isn't, so let's get him. Oh, I see, not wanting to stay up. There we go. Let's get the beef cow up. Maybe saying don't do that, I'm going to be dead. So yeah, this is our bush and our field completed. And if you're using this on a warbord without any snow in that, you can just blend it in perfectly on your terrain, sitting it down and being able to move it back and forth, because hopefully your board is texturized too with coarse coarse turf and fine turf and clump turf and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. We hope you tune into the next one or check out some of my other tutorials on my page, and we'll see you guys later. Have a great day and cheers.